Hi everybody, Johnny Vivento here. Please press the like button and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It's free. Please. I don't have a lot of subscribers. I'm doing my best. One thing I'd like to say, I'd like to talk to you actually today about retiring to Mexico. I'm going to give you a few scenarios, but actually I'm going to give you one scenario for now. Okay, let's say I'm going to give you a scene here from every city, every town, every village in the United States. You are 62 years old. You're single. Or you may be 62 years old and you're married. And your wife is 61. Or the wife is 64 and you're 62. Okay? You're both getting a Social Security check. Or you could be a single guy who's 62, also getting a Social Security check, or not getting one, but carrying on to work. And let's say you're 62, 63 years old, and you have a job, okay, and you're surviving. You pay your rent, you have your food bill, you got to pay for your car insurance, you got to pay for, I don't know, let's say therapy, once a week. Your health insurance from your job, so they take all that out of your pay, and you're like, wow, I'm just surviving, man. I really am surviving. And then you have a flat tire, and it costs you $150 to get it fixed, or you might break down and you get AAA, and they take your car back to your house, and a guy comes over to check it out, and he says, oh my God, you got a massive problem here. It's going to cost you $1,200, and you're worried about how it's going to go, and you don't have the money for this, and you end up getting rice to work because you can't pay for it. Or you have a couple of grand, you have stuff in your house, say, well, I could sell this, I could do that, and I could outpay to get my car out of this shop or whatever. Well, anyway, think about this, okay? I'm going to give you a single man thing, okay? Think about retiring. Get your Social Security. And you might have something between $1,600 and $2,200 at that time. And you're depressed. You're very depressed because you're working real hard and you're thinking, man, I've worked my whole life. I've been working since I was 16 years old. I'm 62 years old now. Isn't that enough? Let's say I've been through a divorce. I lost everything to my ex-wife. And you're just barely surviving. But you're still working hard. Now, I'm not saying you have nothing. You are surviving, but you have your internet, you have a massive, beautiful TV in your living room. You have furniture, you have an apartment that you pay like, I don't know, $1,200 a month, $1,300 a month, and you're working. And a decent job, but not a really high-paying job, and you're thinking, oh my God, every day I've got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You get home, you're tired, you flop out, you might watch the TV for a couple of hours. Oh my God, I forgot to go to the supermarket, and you're like, this is the normal life, and a lot of people are kind of depressed, and it's monotonous every day going to work. And it's not like Sarasota Tim telling you it's a prison job. Well, there you are. It is a prison job. That's a prison job because you're just surviving. So Sarasota Tim is right in that respect. I actually wasn't even going to mention his name on this video, and I've just done it. Well, anyway, Sarasota Tim calls it a prison job, and he is exactly right. That's what it is, because you are just surviving. You don't know what's around the corner in 2 years' time. Okay, he's saying you should retire, and I'm telling you should, if you can. And sell everything up that you have gradually over the next few months and say, I'm going to retire, but I cannot retire within the United States because I don't have enough money for that. My Social Security does not cover living in the US, okay? How can it? How can $1,700, how can you possibly live without working? You can't. So what it is, you might say, well, I can get a job there making $20 an hour, or $18 or $19 an hour, or $17.80 an hour, or hopefully $22 an hour. But you're thinking, but it's part-time, okay, and you think, shall I do that? Or shall I say, enough's enough, okay, I'm retiring. I've worked enough in my life. I did it at 62, worked enough, and I'm done. I didn't last long the first time, probably a year, and then I went back to work, and I came back to Mexico again. I went to Mexico. I'm telling you, I did, and I came a couple of times, and I became a temporary resident, then a resident. Well, anyway, you're 62. You don't have a lot of money. You have a few possessions. You own a car and whatever. If you sell it gradually and get some money together, it's a couple of $1,000s, you can do it. And I'm telling you, I would estimate around $5,000, okay? If you can scrape up $5,000 at 62 and you have no ties, okay, you get your Social Security, you don't have any debts, pay off your debts, okay? That's the main thing. So you don't have any debt whatsoever. Then you get yourself your passport. Just with a passport, you can get into Mexico. Simple as that, you know? And you have your driving license, your passport, a little credit card. Credit card's important, that you must have, that you need. Or even a debit card's good enough. And come to Mexico. And you can live a nice life without having to go to work. And I've been reiterating this whole scenario for like a couple of months now, since I've been doing YouTube channel. I've only been doing YouTube for 6 weeks, okay? And I just want to tell people it's easy to do. And I've done it in other videos. You can look at them. It is easy to do. I know people who make much less than $1,700, $1,800 a month. Much less. I know a lady that gets $1,100. She's from Atlanta, Georgia. $1,100 a month. That's how much she gets from her Social Security. And she lives as happy as I've ever seen anybody live. Okay, her rent is like $400. So she has $700 for stuff. And now she doesn't have a TV. She doesn't want a TV. She has the internet. Okay, it costs $20 in Mexico. That's how much an internet is. Even though actually I think where she lives, in her complex, she only has a studio in a complex. The complex has Wi-Fi on one side of the studio. But she wants the internet, so she gets it. But what I'm saying is that she lives a life without having to work. Now, this is a lady in her 70s. Okay, does not have to work again. She's there, and she lives a very lovely life. She takes a little doggy for a walk. She might take a little bicycle it has a basket on the front, and she rides the bike up into the store, to a little market, and buys her groceries. She doesn't eat a lot, so she doesn't spend a lot. She wants to go to the beach, it's free. The beach is free, like it is everywhere in the world. Well, it isn't everywhere, believe me, because I'm telling you, in Europe, you go near the beach with a car, you got to pay for parking, man. You just can't. But here, you can park right by the beach, you know, so, or pretty close by. What I'm saying is that all amenities are here. So you're by the sea, you've got the air, you've got the nice weather, 365 days a year, even though it's been overcast in the Pacific coast of Mexico for the last 3-4 days. Okay, which is a rarity. It's threatening to rain, and it hasn't rained for it hasn't rained for months, but I mean, it hasn't rained for the 4 days it's been overcast. When we all thought it's been spitting rain, like spitting, but it's never actually rained yet. And I'm waiting for rain. I want rain. There's certain reasons I want rain, okay? It's actually to clean my whole rooftop, okay? So I really want rain, and it's a help, you know, it cleans the air. Well, anyway, to get back to what I was talking about, anybody can do it. I can give you a rundown of how to do this. Please listen carefully, because it's so simple. Okay, you are an American citizen. You have a passport. Okay, you buy a ticket. It doesn't have to be to Puerto Vallarta, but I would say, from what I've seen of Mexico and what I've seen of different cities in Mexico, the first place you should come for at least a year is Puerto Vallarta. Why? Because we have 50,000 Americans living here, so people speak English, okay? So while you're learning Spanish, English is a language that most people can get by in, okay? Because of the amount of expats living here and the amount of tourists. It broke the record last year. I think something like 9 million tourists came to Puerto Vallarta last year, went through the airport. 9 million. That's not including the people coming through the border. So that's pretty impressive. 9 million through Puerto Vallarta. If you think that Spain, I mean, you got to look at figures. British people go to Spain every year. 20 million Brits visited Spain over 2024. Okay, the whole of Spain. Okay, going through passport controls all around the country. 20 million. Just think, Puerto Vallarta had 9 million alone in one Pacific city. 9 million. That's not including people that have come through by car and by bus, okay, through Puerto Vallarta. So it just shows you how popular this place is. This place is absolutely teeming with tourists. It's an amazing, amazing city. So I'd recommend coming here. And you come out of the airport, you've got your suitcases. If you fly with, this is for Americans, okay? I'm not talking about Canadians or anybody else. This is for Americans. You come, you take Southwest, because with Southwest you're allowed 100 pounds free. Okay, so you have 100 pounds of luggage. I think it's 42, 43 kilos of luggage free without paying for anything, okay? So you can come with Southwest. Lots of destinations in the United States. Come to Puerto Vallarta, lots. Phoenix, Tucson, Denver, LA, of course. I think San Francisco, but anyway, Chicago, New York. So you can come through with Southwest, okay? So you come through the border, bang, you're here, great, fill out the form. You are legally in Mexico, you have a tourist visa, okay? And you book your Airbnb, which can be between $35 and $100 a night, an Airbnb. And you pick one, nothing, you know, the airport here in Puerto Vallarta is only, I would say, 2 miles from downtown. It's very, very close, okay? Now, I live 10 minutes from the airport, and I live a little away from downtown. I'm like 5 or 6 miles from downtown, and I'm about 3 miles from the airport in that direction. So anyway, so it all comes in. But let's say you get a place around there, within like 2 or 3 miles radius. You can actually walk it if you have wheels on the bottom of your your suitcases. But anyway, if I was you, I'd get a little cab somewhere, you know, and I'll go through that later. Well, actually, I'll go through it now. In Puerto Vallarta, when you come out of the airport, if you get a cab outside the airport, it will cost you double of what it would cost if you come out of the airport, go over the bridge. You can ask anybody, where is the bridge where the taxis are? And you go across the bridge, and it will be a half-price trip with a taxi on that side. The thing is, taxi drivers have to pay a tariff when they come into the airport, so they charge you. It's almost double your fare. So anyway, you get a cab to your Airbnb. The taxi driver will know where it is. You just show him, and you're there. You're at your Airbnb. Within a day, you will find somewhere to live, because in Puerto Vallarta, people put se renta, which means to rent, or se vende signs to sell outside their house. They don't really, even though they've advertised on Craigslist, they've advertised on Facebook Marketplace and in different sites to sell or to rent their home, they will put a sign on their window no matter what, okay? And they're happy to have people coming and say, ringing the number, can we look now, can we not look now? Might be convenient, might be inconvenient. But anyway, you will see signs, and it will give you an indication of the prices, of you know, how much the places are. And you can go as low, in Puerto Vallarta, you can go as low as $300 a month up until infinity. But with your social security, as you're a single person, or you might be married even, you could be a married couple coming in, and you've got 2 social securities. So the scenarios are, let's say it can be 2 social securities, $2,700 to $3,000, or a single person up to $1,800 a month. And you find a spot, you'll easily find a spot for $500 a month, and usually they are furnished, okay? So you're going to get a furnished place. You're going to have to pay for electricity. Some of them have internet, some don't, so you might have to get that. You might even want to change your phone, because here the phone services are very cheap, $25 a month. So, but you can use your US phone. So if you're with even if you're with AT&T or T-Mobile or whatever, you can still use that phone as you're in the United States. The towers are everywhere. They're bouncing off. Absolutely no problem. I have AT&T. I've never changed it. It works absolutely perfectly here. So anyway, so you're here. And you found somewhere to live, hopefully. Hopefully you have. And you found a little spot. You're going to move in. They will say move in if it's free. Move in right away. And you're there. You have furniture. Every apartment will come with TV and stuff like that. Of course it will. Electronics are included in furnished places. Most of the places are furnished. It's only just outside of Puerto Vallarta places will come unfurnished. People take their belongings with them. But they are trying to rent places that are furnished. People, that's the way it is here. Almost, I would say 75% of apartments for rent are already furnished. You're going to have to need a provider for the internet if they don't have it. They might have it, I don't know. But some of them do, some don't. Let's say it doesn't. You ask the person who is renting your place, how do I get internet? And they will tell you how to do it. It's a one-day sign up. It's so easy here, okay, for that kind of stuff. For them to come to put it in, that's a different story. It might take a week. It might take 2 days. You just don't know here. Also, electricity. You're going to need an electricity account. Now, whoever rents you the apartment will make sure that you'll have the electricity account in your name, and they will absolutely they will help you with that, because they do not want the electricity in their name, so they're going to transfer it from their name into your name. For them, it's absolutely it's a it has to happen. It's absolutely assured that they will do that. They will help you. So anyway, so you're here. This is all going to take a couple of days. It's that quick. It happened to me. I did it when I first came here. I had a house. After that, I bought a house maybe a year after that, I think it was, which I eventually sold. That was in a different state. It was in Nayarit, which is right next to Puerto Vallarta. It's now called Nuevo Nayarit. It used to be called Nuevo Vallarta, New Vallarta, but now it's Nuevo Nayarit. And I had a place there. A very inexpensive house in the middle of a Mexican neighborhood. And actually, if you are retiring at 62 and you want something a little cheaper, that would be a place to go, into a different state. And it's not it's close by. It's just a 15-minute drive. But you get into Nuevo Nayarit, and there's a lot of cheaper places around there, and it's a very lively place, a massive population, but it's mainly Mexicans. There's not that many expats there. There are there, but they're not that many. And you can live there very comfortably, and there's a lot of places for rent there, as I say, around that price. So you just have to do the math. If you're a couple and you get away with $500 a month, you've done very well. You live like kings. King and queen, sorry. You live like a king and queen. You can go out every night for tacos. Which tacos here cost $1 each, or maybe $1.25 each. And you can go out and have tacos. Drinks are very cheap. If you smoke, it's very cheap. Hopefully you don't smoke anymore, but it's very, very inexpensive. It costs like $3 a pack of cigarettes. So, you can do it. It can be done very, very easily. You just have to have the push to do it. Sarasota Tim has the push. Okay? I said in my last video, actually, that I just made this morning, that Sarasota Tim could be an actor. He could have a lot of money behind him. I really don't think that. I think Sarasota Tim is a straight up guy. I do not believe that he broke the law. I do not believe that he is an actor and he's playing an act and he's really a millionaire on the side and he's like pushing these, being a minimalist. I don't believe that. I think he's a straight up kind of guy. I think he has great credit, and I think he has some money behind him, because he couldn't be buying all these big toys not anybody can do that, and he's done it, and he has no, you know, people have not denied him anything. He's actually done very well. And he's making money on YouTube, of course, so that's another great thing. But anyway, retirement, you can do it. See, Sarasota Tim, when I saw his first videos, I always said that this guy is right. He's correct, I'm telling you. Because there's ways you can manipulate your money. There's ways you can, you know, you can bend your money in certain directions. Okay, but what he said, do it now, strike, do it. Otherwise, you'll never do it. If you procrastinate, you'll never do it, man. You have to do it. You strike when the iron's hot. Just get out there and say, I'm going to do this. Sell everything up, as I told you, and come to Mexico, because you can live here comfortably. Now, you will get a 6 months stamp on your passport. You're allowed to stay for 6 months. No ifs or buts. You know, it's what you get, 6 months. I've told you in a previous video how easy it is to get a re-stamp for 6 months. Not going to an office to the authorities, but go to Tijuana. You take a plane. It's very inexpensive to travel to Tijuana, and you get a round trip. It costs you like $100. Get to Tijuana, come out of the airport, show your passport. Okay, so you haven't overstayed your welcome. You under 6 months. You go out, you do a U-turn, and come back from San Diego back to Tijuana. Okay, that walk is about 45 minutes. Okay, so you're walking out of the airport, through the bridge. Okay, you do a U-turn, and you're back in Mexico. Okay, it will give you another 6 months. Yeah, why? Because thousands of Americans come through that way by foot. Okay, not by car, but by foot, every single day. Some Americans work in they work in Tijuana, and they live in San Diego, and they walk through the bridge every single day. Thousands of people. There's always a lot of people whenever you're walking. I've done it twice. So that's how easy it is. So you've got another 6 months. You get your plane and you're back. You could do this by bus. If you don't want to go by plane, no problem. Take the bus. You know, get back into Tijuana to the bus station. The bus station to the border is very close. It's like a half a mile away, I believe. It's about half a mile away. You can walk it, and you can walk through the same bridge as you go from the airport. The airport is on that side, which has another entrance, but you can go another entrance. There's like 6 different routes. Tijuana to San Diego. There's like 6 different checkpoints, okay? And there's a checkpoint very close to the bus station, okay? Tijuana is a beautiful city. Great, great city. Little dangerous, they're saying, but I don't know about that. I've never seen it, but it's a very, very nice town. A lot of things to do. Very, very lively. They sell a lot of antiques on the street. They really do. It's just a great little town. Anyway, it's not a little town. It's kind of a big town, Tijuana. But anyway, so you get back on your bus or on your plane, get back to Puerto Vallarta. It's that simple. So then you've got a year. That's 1 year. And that should give you the room and the thought that you want to stay in Mexico or you don't want to stay in Mexico. I would say that you will want to stay in Mexico, okay? It's a wonderful country, a lot to see, a lot of history. People like you. You're going to love the people. The people here are phenomenal. They really are. And I've never met a bad one yet, not once, and I've been here for years. They will do things for you. They really will help you. People here are very family orientated. They're very kind people, Mexicans. Very, very kind people. And, you know, they're not Americanized like Mexican Americans. They're like Americans, you know, but here is the culture is different, you know. And so anyway, you're here a year, and then you can decide if you want to stay or not. You know, it's that simple. But I'd recommend selling up and coming here. You might want to go to a different place in Mexico. A lot of people are going over to the Yucatan, which is absolutely gorgeous place. Next to Guatemala, it's like on just past the Gulf. It's like near Cancun. You have Merida, Wonderful place in the Yucatan, that peninsula. But I'd really recommend going there too. Or you might want to go to Baja California, you know, through San Diego, Tijuana, down and down that little nose of Mexico, you know, which is another wonderful place, the Baja. I'd recommend going there too. I've never been there, but I heard it's incredible. So anyway, hope I gave you a few insights into Mexico, and really, you should do it. You should take the plunge. This is an alternative to Sarasota Tim, okay? But I'm just telling you that he stayed in the United States. He has a good retirement. I'm telling you, you should come here, okay? You will not go wrong. God bless you. Take care. Bye.